any account that can access something more, or that has the ability to perform a more powerful action on a system, we categorize it as privileged, whether it is the CEO's account that is able to access certain kind of emails and certain folders, board papers, or whether it is the administrator account that is able to create users, delete users, go to the database, drop tables, create tables, insert tables, or whether it is a service account that is run by an application to accept maybe to connect two applications together or interfaces together. So it depends on where they fall, but any account that can do more than the ordinary guest standard account is a privileged account.
We all know how threats like ransomwares, threats as simple as CEO attacks, talk of phishing and all that, and how they're actually rampant right now. So any ideas around, how can we effectively ensure privileged access? Robert, I see you raising a hand.
Number one, sometimes I want to put an analogy like we do. Who checks the security apparatus? Like our policemen. They've got quite a bit of say in the internal operation of common people, me and you. But who checks them? That is what I want to compare with the privileged access. Number two, if a fraudster got hold of the administrator's credentials, then they can do everything quietly and nobody will realize for as long as they want, and they can even go further and erase their tracks of everything that was done. I'm not just talking about a fraudster who is this guy in a hood from I don't know where in a dark room. Fraudster can be even myself as the administrator. So this is the risk that necessitates a closer look at this group of privileged access users and how we should manage them.
For a long time, it has been assumed that using complicated and strong passwords is the best way to do it, but that has a caveat, because an attacker who has enough patience can do brute force and get the password. And another way of not doing it is repeating the same passwords for the same systems. That's on how the access is gained or the privileged accounts are compromised. And how do we secure the privileged accounts? Well, we could use things like multi-factor authentication, we could do identity management, and we could look for PAM, the privileged access management solutions, to deploy in the organizations, whether you're running on-prem or doing a cloud environment.
What are the risks to privileged accesses? What are some of the threats that are in the wild out there that anyone in this room needs to look out for?
For example, to the circle, the biggest risk that we have is losing money. All right? And that can happen easily once somebody has privileged access and they do maybe a transaction, and then they can go ahead and erase the trail. So by the time you come to realize that you have lost money, you can't even trace how you lost that money. Number two, you are in the business of a hospital where patients' data is very, very critical, and the privacy to it is also important. So if somebody gets access to see, for example, the data on, we are approaching the election period. the data of the top guys and say, you know what, so and so who wants to contend to be the president is terminally ill, and here is the proof. That will be very damaging. We've had even hackers who are potential students who get into the placement database in our Kenyan universities, and they change their course, to a course that they want, but probably they never qualified, and can do that to their friends at a fee or something. So, like I said, Cephas, the number of risks that we have due to these privileged access users is a lot.
I can say the most things that are at risk is your company's data and information. So you'll find that you'll have a lot of data loss, and also a big blow would be like what Robert said. You'll find that someone will come, transact, move money from your accounts without any trace.